What's up, YouTube? It is Mr. Ferguson back once again here from Central North Carolina. Thank you guys so much. As always, thank you so much for joining me once again here in Central North Carolina. It's a privilege and honor to be able to film these videos, and thank you guys so much for your kindness and all of the very gracious comments and the comment section. Thanks for updating me on what you're doing in your lawn. It's a privilege to be a part of that. And for those, man, I've been inspired by some of these videos I've released talking about some of the current events and stuff. You guys have truly encouraged me in your kindness and compassion. There's always a few that's going to be, you know, that disagree, and then there's going to be some that just straight up want to be hateful. But then the majority, the vast majority of you have just been overwhelmingly positive and encouraging to me in my life and this channel. And I just want to personally thank you so much. We are going to get into some non-lawn care things in the beginning of this video. So for those that just like lawn care, I'm not going to label where that is. You may just want to skip to the halfway. We've got a little bit to talk about lawn care wise, but not a big change from the last video. We're still just continuing to grow in the new grass, but I've got several things I want to talk about before we get into the non-lawn care things. I am talking behind the scenes. One commenter had mentioned, hey, Mr. Ferguson, where'd you get that shirt? Can I buy that shirt? I was wearing my Mr. Ferguson lawn care shirt. I have the Mr. Ferguson hats. I've got these individually just to wear on the channel for me. I'm not big and I don't know. I'm learning how to possibly sell merch. I don't know if people are interested in that. I really don't. The only reason I'm doing this, it's not about promoting me and the channel and look how great I am. I'm just a little YouTube channel. But the fact that I have Jesus is King on the back, that would bring me, I would be excited for people not only to wear the Mr. Ferguson Lawn Care channel and advertise that, but Jesus is King on the back. Now that shirt I can get down with and to advertise. So I'm working on that one shirt model. It'll say Mr. Ferguson in the front. It'll have the North Carolina symbol at the top, Jesus is King, and then youtube.com/Mr. Ferguson Lawn. I'm working with a lady at our church. My brothers had to redesign the logo to fit the shirt, so I'm working on that. So that is to come. So if you're interested, I would like to know how many people are interested. I don't want to order too few and they go. I don't want to order too many and nobody cares. And so if you're interested, just say, hey, I would be interested. I think if this church lady gets it to me for a decent price, it will be under $30. I'm not trying to make money off these shirts. I promise you. If anything, if she gives them, you know, I hope to be under $30. I hope it will be around $20. So if that's something that would interest you, just let me know in the comments below. I'll let you know when I know more. We're still talking about these things. Moving into the next thing, I wanted to mention this. I was playing golf yesterday, and there's two things that came out of that golf trip that I want to mention here before we get into lawn care as briefly as possible. The first thing is I got to hole number 4, and I step out of the cart. They had just had the senior championship, and I went and watched my dad play in the last round of that, and it was awesome. People gathered around the back nine and we were cheering on, and my dad ended up not winning it this year. He's won it I think 2 or 3 times in the past. He was actually down by 1 on 17, ended up losing by 4. Just hit a ball, and it was misfortunate and unfortunate. And it is what it is. So I went and I wanted to play. Obviously watching them all, I was like, man, I want to go play what they were playing. So I shot really well in the end. I shot a 79. That's awesome for me. I'm about a 10 so handicap. So for me, 79, one of probably my top, definitely a top 10, maybe top 5 round. But I get out at number 4. It's uphill. There's a lot of areas on our course. It's Bermuda. Obviously it's getting chilly at night and it's starting to check out a little bit. And I noticed I stepped right off the side of the cart path, and this is what I saw. Here's 2 pictures. I immediately thought of you guys, and I immediately thought of this channel, and I took these 2 pictures. And if you're looking at them right now, you may say, what the heck is that? The people that work there, you know, and we complain all the time as members of this golf course, but they just threw seed down right there to try to grow seed. And obviously, if you guys look at that, they threw the seed on top of a pile of rocks, basically, and it's just laying on. This is exactly what I used to do before I got into lawn care, thinking I was going to have nice grass there. So, of course, I thought to myself, what in the world? And immediately, this came to mind, and I just want to read it to you real fast, just as an encouragement to somebody out there. So you see this picture, right, of rocks just thrown out beside the cart path on a pile of rocks and clay. This is what this is what Matthew chapter 13 verse 5 says. Some seed. Let me be specific. Verse 5 says, some seed fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. Jesus is speaking a parable here, but Jesus knew about seed, and he was talking about grass seed. Exactly this picture I showed you is exactly the type of spiritual person Jesus was referring to in his parable here. And so just as a quick lesson, quick devotional this morning, just like this, we can't walk out in our lawn, guys, and say, hey, I want grass there, and just throw seed out there. There has to be preparing of the soil. We have to get the rocks out. There's good earth, there's bad earth, there's areas with thorns and weeds like the brush. There's areas like this picture where these maintenance workers have just like, oh, we need seed there, boom. All right, cool, we're done, move on. The Bible even tells us about lawn care, that when these seeds, when they finally gets enough moisture and the seed pops in the roots, it will definitely germinate. That's what it said, that the seed will germinate. But because of the rocks, because of the condition that the seed is now laying on, it's not going to be able to get the roots in the soil. The sun is going to wither it, and it's going to die, and you're going to be right back to ground and rock mixture, just like what you see now. That's exactly, it's a pointless exercise, right? And so spiritually, what Jesus was teaching in this is we need to have a good heart, a good soil. The word of God goes out into different people in this nation, in this world that we live in. And some people have the desire, like it goes and they're like, yeah, I want to live for God. Yeah. But once they get into areas where maybe, they don't want to give this up for God. Well, I don't want to give that up. Well, my Sundays are for football. I don't want to go to church. Well, I don't really like people. God says I got to love people. Well, I can't do that. And that root and that seed withers away and dies, and they're right back to where they started. And so that's the parable. And then Jesus talked about good soil, where we plant good grass seed. And people that say, yes, I need God in my life. Yes, I need change. I want him. I welcome him. Come. And we say, yes, Lord, and amen, and we obey his commandments. Then the seed finds good soil and good grass grows, and we have a harvest. And so that's the analogy. He's talking about the hearts of men and talks about all these things. So read Matthew 13 yourself if you want to know more about that. Also, at the end of that round, after all of that, played well, had some mistakes on the front nine, shot a 41 or 42, I can't remember, got to the back nine, and it's getting dark, and I'm trying to hurry, and, past some guys playing super awesome, hitting the ball well. I hit a drive that's on the edge of it goes like slanted up a hill, and it's right on the edge of the fairway, and there's a hill where it can bounce really hard right or really hard left. It hits right on top, and so I know it's okay. I hear it hit. I'm like, all right, it hit on ground. So I ride up there, and I'm trying to find it. There's weeds on the right, riffraff, rocks, cart path. And all of a sudden, this gentleman, like a black gentleman, shorter guy, says, hey, man, you looking for your ball? I said, man, where'd you come from, number one? And I said, yeah. And he didn't have a cart or anything. He's just in a t-shirt walking around. I said, yeah. I hit it over here, and I'm not sure where it went. And he said, oh, it's right there. And it was on a rocks blended in. I said, well, thank you so much. And put it in the fairway. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to summarize a lot of this, so bear with me. But he said, yeah, I live on the other side of these trees in the neighborhood here. And he said, I've never walked over here and saw the golf course. So this is cool. He's like, can I film you? And I was like, yeah, if you want to. And I'd been playing well. I was about 91 yards in. For me, that's a 56. Hit the ball, and I was explaining to him about how you got to calculate the wind, and the wind can push the ball back and all this. He knew nothing about golf. He said, I don't know anything besides what I've watched on TV. And he was fascinated. I hit it up on the green. I was way short, about 15-foot putt or something like that, maybe more. And he's like, well, I said, you want to ride up the hill here? He's like, yeah, I'm just walking to see what's around here. I've never been. I said, well, be careful. There's golfers, and we're not that good. We can knock you out. And I said, tell him about the senior championship. And my dad just turned 64. He said, I'm 64. I was like, oh, okay. And I had a white beard, bald head, super nice guy. And his eyes were really red, so I didn't know if he had a drink or something before. I couldn't tell, but he was talking fine. And so got up there. He's like, well, actually, I want to watch you. This is cool, man. Can I watch you putt? And I said, sure. I said, well, and it was a hard putt up a hill and then up a little like elevated part of the green. It was a tough putt. And I said, now this, my goal is not to make this, to get it up on the hill. Hit it absolutely perfect, tap in par. And he's like, man, this is cool. And I was explaining to him, since he lived in this area, you know, he could be a member for free. And he's like, no way. And so anyways, we got to, you know, and then when we were walking off the green, he said, so you just come out here and play by yourself? And I said, man, I used to be a drinker. I was in the military for 12 years, man. Captain Morgan was one of my friends. Yeah, I knew about Captain Morgan, man. And I said, I used to be a heavy drinker. My marriage was failing. And man, I asked Jesus in my heart. He just put love and joy in my heart, man. I'll come out here. I literally ride around by myself in this beautiful weather and just talk to the Lord. And it's just, I have a ball. And he saved my life, man. And I'm just, normally I didn't want to be around people. I wouldn't have time for folks like you. But man, he's put a love and joy in my heart, and I just love him. And he's like, that's cool, man, that's cool. And then he kind of got off that topic and started asking about the next hole, houses they had just built, like trying to figure out where he was as far as what road that was. And anyways, I get up there and is talking to him, and so he starts to leave. I was like, Jerry, it's great talking to you, man. Hope I see you another time. And he said, well, he's like, man, I just want to mention to you, he's like, speaking of God, can you pray for me, man? He's like, I made some mistakes myself, and I went driving. I was drinking and I went driving and got in trouble with the law. And actually tomorrow morning I have to go for a hearing in court. And I said, what? I said, Jerry, is this not strange how it's no coincidence that God has put us to cross paths, man? And he's like, I know it, man. I said, the one thing I mentioned that comes out about my testimony is my drinking issue in the past and how the Lord saved me from it. And here you're dealing with in the morning, and literally 8 hours, you're going to be standing in court, and he's nervous about it, and he's, and asked for me to pray for him, a total stranger. And so I said, can I pray right now? And he said, absolutely. And I put my hand on his back, man, and I prayed for about 5 minutes for this man. I think he had some tears when we were done. And I said, Jerry, it's been an honor to talk to you. And he said, thank you so much, man. And he went on his way, and I went and finished the whole round, shot at 79. Man, God is good. And it's just things like that. There's a shift. Now, I do that all the time when the opportunity presents itself. But are you open to, see, I could have just went on, man, I got to finish these holes before dark. That's who me and my dad and my family can be sometimes. Hey, I got my schedule, man. Sorry, man, thank you for helping me find my ball, but I got to run. It's getting dark. I could have done that. The guy wouldn't have been mad at me, but when we open ourselves to take that opportunity to listen and share, I just felt the prompting of the Holy Spirit to share with this man. And it just so happens he's dealing with the same thing that I dealt with. That's why our testimony is powerful. And so this guy walking around, a black guy and a white guy, praying on a tee box of hole 14 in Central North Carolina for his court date tomorrow. Obviously we have consequences to our actions, but God put me there to pray for that man and sow seeds into his heart. And that's why I'm telling you this, to sow seeds, spiritual seeds into Jerry, that he may come to know the Lord in a more personal way. Didn't feel led to ask him, to pray the Lord's Prayer, but one day we may see each other again, and that may happen. But just wanted to share that with you, that not only did the Lord speak to me about sowing seed on the rocky soil, but I was able to sow seed into a man. And that's not patting myself on the back. I'm just encouraging you. Man, I feel so good about serving the Lord when I do what God has called me to do. And it's more than just making YouTube videos, guys. It's people's lives. So with that, I'll leave it at that. And just, man, I was just cloud 9 all the way in on the rest of the back 9, and just awesome day. So to wrap this video up quickly with lawn care, for those that may be joining back in, not much has changed. I'm just going to basically pop you guys off the tripod here and hold the actual GoPro camera, so I apologize if it's real shaky. I may come out here. It's supposed to be, this is day 2 of what's supposed to be a rainy 3 days. I don't think it's rained yet. It's very dry. The concrete's very dry. We continue to grow in. I don't think we're even going to walk around the whole front yard. You guys just saw it 2 days ago. Not a huge change. But we continue to get some of the growth coming in. This area I'm keeping my eye on because I still see brown. I'm not seeing a lot of green come up like I am in areas like this, but it's still very early. But obviously, yes, I may come out here and hand rake and just take my time and enjoy this weather to hand rake some of the leaves off. But you can see this section is astounding. Now remember, I put extra emphasis on bare areas with a little more seed. So this may have gotten a little more seed than those areas behind me that I was just showing you, but it continues to come in very nicely. Down here with the shade mix coming in very nicely. So we'll keep you posted. I'm not really going to post this, you know, this is what, day 12 update, if you will. So we just continue to grow in grass seed, and everything pretty much looks the same. I think if we really get a generous rain, it's really going to help some of the, you know, this grass seed, the new blades, to jump up. You know, we got PGR on the existing blades, but obviously it's going to encourage growth in both. But we want the new grass to take off. Look at the tenacity once again in the neighbor's yard on the weeds. Just incredible how it is just discolored, the crabgrass over here. But again, looking a little better over here than the last time I think I showed you. It don't look great on camera, but I see baby grass all over this. It's very, very small and thin. Lots of grass coming in here, and everything continues to look better. But we just need a good rain, so we'll keep you posted on that. The next video will obviously, talk about more of, you know, future plans. Thank you to the few that said yes to the live stream, you know, about the first mow. We may end up doing that because I keep meaning to do live streams and I just don't get around to do it. So we may do one in the afternoon, mowing this for the first time. I'll never forget cutting that cool blue for the first time, and it was just, man, that's one of my favorite videos that I go back and watch. It's got the little bat on the cover. It's Halloween, black and orange font, and it's you know, striping. The first time I used a lawn striper was on my cool blue lawn, and that was one of the most satisfying mows I've ever done in the history of this channel. So with that said, not much of an update lawn care wise, but we're just basically going to try to get some of the leaves off. I may come out here and rake a little bit as I can to get some exercise and just get outside, because it feels awesome out here now. It's about 60 degrees, feels awesome. Want to get some of the leaves off and not harm the grass. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for those that stuck around for this one. I know it's not 100% lawn care, it's kind of a 50-50, but hope that encourages you. And we'll get back here on Friday with another lawn care video and update you. Hopefully we'll have had some rain by then. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you guys. We'll see you next time.